So John Cougar Mellencamp was one of my favorite musicians of the 80s. I particularly love Small Town, that whole album and that song. But this was his biggest hit, Jack Diane, from what, 82, something like that, 81. And I'm gonna try to teach it to you in under 3 minutes. Oh yeah, I'm Steve. Hope you're doing great. Let's just get right to it. I have no capo on, and there's a couple different ways to play this. Right here, the easiest way is the A major with no capo. Now, if you want to put a capo somewhere, way up here on the 7th fret, you get this like this. You're playing a D major, but that could be another lesson for another time. For now, let's just do the basic one with no capo. So we begin with an A major. I'll give you the chords first. A little ditty, E major, about D major and E, A major, 2 American E, growing up, D, E, A. And I'll show you that little cooler version that I did a second ago. So again, it goes, Jack gonna be E major, D, E, A, E, D, E, A. And then it goes, oh yeah, life goes on, all that kind of stuff right there. So it goes A, oh yeah, E, D, E. Long after that's A major, long E major is D, E. Does it over and over again. That was A to E again, D, E, A, E, D, E, A, like that. So the cool part I did instead of going D, E, A, I went D, and I only hit these next strings right there. You just basically take the D major, go up 2 frets, like that, which is part of that E chord right there. And then I played an A major as a bar chord like this. I use my thumb, like that, and that way you get that high note on the 5th fret of the E string. You could also go play an A major, just put your pinky there. But in full speed, it goes pretty cool. And then if you got somebody else playing, with a capo way up there, it sounds amazing. Now, at the beginning, you saw you're basically playing an A major, and you're adding the 3rd fret of the B string, and back to the regular A major. So you go, E major, that's the very beginning of the song. Now there's one more thing, is the bridge at the middle. It goes, gonna let it rock, let it roll. It goes A, gonna let it rock, D major, G major, let it roll, back to D, let the Bible bell come and save my soul. So basically it just goes A to D to G, D, A, and then, it ends with, swimming in something, E major to A. And then it does the whole verse and chorus again, over and over again. All right, I'd love to hear how you do in the comments, including that cool little walk-up. And let me know what other John Cougar songs you want to hear, because I'm a big fan, and we'll do some more in the coming weeks and months. All right, catch you later.